just call him Big G. I just call him Floyd.
I called him Georgie.
He's known as Perry from the Q, Georgie Babe, Floyd, Big Floyd, and Gentle Giant.
You guys called him George, but I call him Floyd. And my brother was very lovable.
Georgie. I mean, you can't even say his name without smiling. He was a protector. He was always uplifting, encouraging. He always had something positive to say.
Give you the shirt off his back, man, just life of the party all the time, cracking jokes, just a good guy.
Dad.
He was kind and he was nice to my mom all the time. With me and my mom both loved him.
Perry's gone, and I thought, gone where? And she said he was killed.
Like, oh my God, I turned it off. I heard his voice screaming. Not this way, not this way. This can't be it, not this way. Whew.
When I first saw the images of George Floyd on the ground, I wasn't shocked, I wasn't surprised, I was saddened. And my first thought was, here we go again.
It was different than other videos. This was people watching a man slowly die.
I think in many ways, that crowd on the sideline represents America on the sideline watching that videotape. Like, stop. Why? He can't breathe. Can't you see that? Show him some humanity. And they didn't.
I watched his life come out of his body. Why? Because I watched this man murder another man that looked like me.
This knee on the neck was reminiscent of an old school lynching. And most modern day folk have never been to one. And now they have.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has been charged by the Hennepin County Attorney's Office with murder and with manslaughter.
When an officer is charged in the death of a black man, a lot of people following the story say that's that. Okay, resolution, case solved. But so many people in the black community know that that's not enough. That's where the attention on a case should start.
This generation, they're not interested in false ideas of hope or these empty expressions of justice. They want it, and they want it now, and it's a non-negotiable.
Thousands have filled the streets calling for justice.
Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! We are gonna go fight for justice for my daddy.
There was also this sense of hope that maybe our numbers will be so great, our voices will be so loud that we can no longer be dismissed when we say we gotta have change.
10 months after this incident, after they lost their loved one, the man accused of killing him is finally going to face a jury.
Whether or not you think Officer Derek Chauvin is innocent or guilty, this trial is monumental. It is the trial of the century.
All right. Welcome to the Grown Men Talking Incorporated at Man's Living Fear Part 2, Black History Edition. We couldn't go out the month without the celebration for Black History Month, so make sure you grab something cool to drink, a comfortable blanket, because it's going to be really sweet tonight. Also, tomorrow's show is canceled and postponed for next week, the Disvalue Commitment. So make sure y'all set your notifications because they will be back next week. Also, we want to give appreciation to ones that actually watch our show and support and love us. A year ago, we casted a show that went Facebook Live on Mr. Jeremy, where he was actually unalived on Facebook by his wife. So a year later, we ended up getting a review from actual mother of Jeremy, which we want to say, our hearts and prayers go out to her. But she did reach out to us from a segment that we did a year ago pertaining to her son. And the lady has been convicted. So we do want to say thank you to Mrs. Teresa Thompson. This was Jeremy's mother that reached out to us and saying that we did a beautiful job on the story. Also, do not forget, we got the Powerful Poet contest going on. So if you're a poet and you know it, or you know a poet, send them on over to me or Dwight. So that way we can get the videos over. Time is clicking, y'all. We got some videos in. We need more love coming on in. If you got that gift, you've been blessed with, hey, put it on that video, send it on over. You never know. You might be 2025 Powerful Poet. Now we're going to hand it over to Dwight.
Hey, thank you, Spicy. And good Friday, everybody. And this is Grown Man Talking. And yes, this is Black Month History, the last day of the month. And we're about to do part 2 about some of the things that Black men fear. So I know I had some things to fear. That video I saw, hey, I can relate to it to so many ways. And it's going to be a little touchy, but we're going to talk about it. It needs to be talked about because racism is still alive in this country. People try to deny and say it's not, but this country was built on racism, and it's just been a nightmare for most of us. But anyway, let me bring in some of the guys and let's talk about it. So, Brother Dez, are you in the house? Come on in, brother.
Even good Friday, everybody. Good Friday. Good Friday.
Hey, Brother Dez. All right, now I don't know if Mr. Britton, he'll probably join us soon, and King D. So right now you got the. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, there's King D. Hey, what's up? What's up, King D? Okay, got to mute them. There you go. Nothing much, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm here.
All right. Good to have you here. I got y'all here, Mr. Britton. Hopefully he'll be joining us pretty soon. I just want to start about that video. That video, when I remember when I first saw it, it hit me kind of hard because that was basically a lynching. That man had his knee on George's neck for minutes, and it was just a sad thing to see. This man was just being slowly killed in front of us, and while other people just sit there and watch because people just felt helpless because you had other police officer blocking the way and keeping them from doing anything. But let's be real, this is the country we live in, and I can relate to it. I'm 58, and I remember having run in with the police. Now, I'm not trying to say all the policemen out there are bad, but for every 10 that are good, there are 100 out there that want to do me in. But I remember being a young man and being pulled over for no reason besides driving black. I remember, being pulled over and had dogs in my car. They're taking stuff out of my car, help me put it back in. Just driving black. It's no other reason besides that. And that's a big problem. The police has been killing, black and brown people for many, many years. I mean, the police was made up back in the days to catch the slaves, the black folks. So, I mean, this it's just like the impact here. So I'm gonna start with you, Biz. How you feel about that video, and share how you feel, and we'll just go on from there.
Well, like you said, this has been going on for centuries and decades, and that's that like you also stated, that's where police originated, the patty rollers, and it just seems as though that they are still continuing on that same mentality, kind of treating us like cattle or like property. And the only difference nowadays is that, with social media and everybody and their mama got a camera, these things are just now starting to come out in the light, but like we said, this has been going on for years. But I just believe at some point in time, I do believe that we as a people, we're just going to say, okay, we ain't going to take this no more, and we're going to actually do something about it, and because there have been instances where people have took the law into their own hands and went to seek their own street justice,
Yeah.
For the victims of these police officers. And at some point in time, they need to be careful, because it's gonna get to a point to where we as a people just ain't gonna take it no more.
Right.
And that could cause some serious problems. And I say that because I mean I have law enforcement, police officers, sheriffs, deputies in my family.
Right.
And some of the things that that they tell us is like, I'm not gonna repeat them, but some of the things that they tell us, they let us know that this system ain't designed for us.
Oh,
And if you go off of that, and just thinking about, and giving my opinion on the video, that's kind of heartbreaking, because like I said, this is just one of the, not to take anything away from that man's family or his situation, but this has been going on and this has happened to so many people. And it just so happened that this is one that was being filmed. And like you stated, everybody's standing around holding their cameras, but nobody stop to think to help this man, regardless of the consequences or repercussions of getting this police officer off of him.
Yeah.
When this man he's blatantly sitting there saying, I can't breathe, and the cops' only response is, well, if you couldn't breathe, you couldn't talk.
Exactly. That part.
Exactly. So like you said, this is gonna be kind of heart touching, because I've had my own personal experiences with police before, which we'll probably get into that later. But I just think this has got to come to an end, because technically police are only here to protect property.
Exactly. That part.
And then most of them going around here trying to enforce laws that they don't even know.
Yeah.
they don't know. They don't realize the oath that they took, because out of all the the little videos I've watched on YouTube with ex-police officers, and it says that they're not trained in the law. So they really don't know what law they're upholding. That's why I find myself watching these videos all the time where people are owning these police officers for doing just what they was doing to you, pulling them over for driving while black.
Yeah.
So I just think at one point in time, it's going to come to a stop.
And I definitely agree with you on that. The question is when, but I definitely do believe that. King D, what you had to say about that video? If you was able to catch it, I'm pretty sure. Well, even if you didn't catch it, you seen video of George slowly being murdered before millions of people. How do you feel about that?
That was just a sad situation. That was very, very much so sad. I mean, I want to piggyback a little bit off what you guys were saying about the people that was recording and not doing anything. They're just an example of fear. They were scared. They were scared to do anything. And then the girl that video went viral. She was 17, and she was just walking her little niece, 9-year-old niece, down to the store. And I can just imagine how traumatized that was. How traumatizing that was for those children to witness that. It was a very hard thing to watch, a very sad situation. But what I am glad about is that the little girl, the 17-year-old, was able to record and was able to put it on social media to let the world see this is what we go through. And her video got millions and millions and like almost 1 trillion views to even to this very day. And everybody was able, not only in the United States, everybody all over the world, Thailand, Hawaii, Canada, they were protesting for him. And y'all know Thailand don't play about they African American. They love African American people. So they hit the streets. Like I said, Hawaii hit the streets. I mean, it's a lot of countries, Africa, a couple of places in Africa, protested. It went nationwide, very much nationwide, and it's sad that he had to lose his life. It's very sad to lose his life, but to open up awareness to what African Americans are going through.
Yeah. You're right, King D. And see, one thing about black people, when we know that you calling for your mama, it's serious.
Yeah.
That man called for his mama. He knew he was going to end up dying there. He was calling for his mama, and this and the thing is, this been going on for a long time. Even those things that we didn't see because it wasn't cameras and video. Even it started with Rodney King. They beat him up, beat that man like a piano, just beating the mess out of him. And it just went from there, and mostly every time you turn around, there was another police shooting, another police beating a black person. But one thing is, you didn't catch black officers doing this to white men. You just didn't really see hearing a lot of black officers shooting a white man, then another black officer. It was just not unheard of. But it was like hunting season on us. It was like hunting season on us. No matter what we did, we can be walking down the street, we get shot. We can be in our rooms, we get shot. We can be talking, parking, wherever it may be. Bruce, police just come up there, and for some reason they feel like their life was threatened, and they have to use deadly force, which is to me is just crazy. And like I said, as a black man, like I said, like what the dead says, I'm not sure about King D, but as for myself, I had experience. I had experience a cop putting a gun on me. Me and some of my friends, my brother. We just out having fun. I don't drink, don't smoke, but when they see a number of black men just hanging around, oh, they must be up to something. Oh, somebody call the police. They about to go do something. And the police, they just pull up on you, and they like had the guns out on you. Wait a minute, hold up. Hands up in the air, not coming just to say, hey, how y'all guys doing? And is everything okay? Just making conversation. The first thing they do, because I guess we are so violent and dangerous, to put the guns on us, we raise our hand up. Now, they let us go, but it just made us like, damn, somebody could have lost their life. We just sitting here just talking about, hey man, where we gonna go have fun there? Where we gonna go out and eat at? And when you have about 6, 7 police cars pulling up on you and pulling out guns, it's kind of like your life flashed before your eyes. Like, wait a minute, hold up. And on that part also, like I said, I used to go to a church. My home church was on the east side, and it was some courts called the weekly courts. There were some pretty bad courts. Sometimes I drive through there to go through to take a shortcut to get to my church. But like I said, the cops, they come over there, and one cop pulled me over. I said, man, y'all just pulled me over just a few days ago. Well, you can't be too careful. I'm like, what? You can't be too careful. So I guess every black man that rolls in that area is up to no good and selling drugs, whatever the case may be. You do have some that do that, but you just look at all of us like we just up to no good. And this is our nightmare. And this is one of the biggest fear that black men have to face in America. This is something we even face for our children because it's still going on. And we have sons and daughters, and for me to sit here and think, damn, what I do how I would act if my son got killed by a police officer? They just shot him. I'll feel, I don't know, I would just have so much anger. I think I'll be going to jail, to be honest with you, because this is just something that we fear, not for ourselves, but also for our children. And it has to be a better way for us to fix the problem. Like Brother Dez said, hopefully soon. I don't know how soon, but I don't know King D and Brother Dez. I'm pretty sure when that happened, I think up there in New York, I think the police was getting shot at. They were sitting in their cars, and some dudes pull up on the police and start shooting them.
Yeah, but that's the point that it's coming to, because for one, it's in the way that the police officers are trained. They're trained to be suspicious out the gate. And they always say innocent until proven guilty, but in our cases, is you're guilty until that you prove that you're innocent. And even if you do prove that you're innocent, that really don't make a difference, because you still hear the stories to this day about how some black men are just now being released from prison after centuries, doing 20 and 30 years for crimes that they did not commit.
Yeah, you're right.
So, and it's all a part of the bigger picture is prisons are privatized now.
Yeah.
They get paid to have those prisons full. And the thing about it is, do you know that the one thing that I learned while we were, teaching our classes is that they base how many prisons to build off of 3rd and 4th grade test scores.
Oh yeah.
So they're basically already telling us what they want us to do. Even if you look at the educational system, is designed just like a prison. Stay in this class, you move to the next class, you eat at this time, and I mean, the way that the society has set it up to where prison is now the modern day slavery.
Yeah, you're right. And King D and Brother Dez, I'm gonna tell you this. Now I'm not sure if I remember if it was either Tanise or Keisha, but I know it was a video. I believe it was like maybe last year before, where it was a police. I can't remember what state it was in, but they was basically training their police to shoot black folks. And I'm gonna have to find that. I wish I would have remembered that sooner, because I could have had Spicy pull that up. But the captain and all these people was how they go to police training. They was basically showing them to shoot the black people first and ask questions later. I'm like, it's not like I'm surprised, but I'm like, damn, for real?
Yeah.
I mean, for real, shoot us first, then ask questions later, regardless if you are innocent or not. Where we just don't want to take no chance because they violent. So I'm like, I'm just sitting there with my mouth open, but at the same time, I mean, look, I'm not surprised because that's the world we live in. We live in that type of world where we are the bad guys.
Okay, we got a caller coming in.
Okay, welcome to Grown Man's Talking, caller.
Yeah, I want to elaborate on what you said, because me that sent you that video. The video was where the target practice, the paper targets were all black men, and they was training them to shoot in the head.
Yeah,
they wanted death shots.
Yeah,
and they used those at the police academy. So usually you have just a white background with a black figure. These are actually pictures of black males.
Yeah,
what we're using. That's what I want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Not, they were shooting, they shooting black male in the head. Not only that, they trained the dogs. They trained the dogs to bite the black man. The dogs, don't have to even be on command. They just literally know. But they had the dogs with the canine unit. They just strictly go attack anybody that's black. Attack anything that's black. Moving. Ask questions later. So I hear some music playing. So y'all, we gonna get back into this because it's something we gotta fix. We gotta work as a unit to fix this problem. So we'll be back, y'all, in 2 and 2.
With me.
This is Diamond Reynolds streaming live on Facebook from her cell phone just moments after her boyfriend, Philando Castile, was shot by police during a traffic stop over what she says was a broken taillight. She says Castile told the officer he was carrying a licensed gun.
So he's licensed to carry. He was trying to get out his ID and his wallet out his pocket, and he let the officer know that he had a firearm and he was reaching for his wallet, and the officer just shot him in his arm.
The police officer pointing his gun into the car. Reynolds calm and clear. Her young daughter in the back seat.
Waiting for a back. I will, sir. No worries. I will. He just shot his arm off. We got pulled over on Larpener.
I told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license. Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead. Please don't tell me my boyfriend just went like that.
Keep your hands where they are, please.
Yes, I will, sir. I'll keep my hands where they are. Where's my daughter? You got my daughter?
Then officers, guns drawn, order Reynolds out of the car.
Get on your knees. Get on your knees.
Now on the ground, she never stops live streaming.
They threw my phone, Facebook.
Police perform CPR on Castile on the street. Reynolds now detained in a patrol car, her cell phone still recording.
I don't know if he's okay or if he's not okay.
Her daughter's still with her. Reynolds finally breaks down.
I can't really do because they got me handcuffed.
It's okay, Mommy.
I can't believe they just did this. I'm
It's okay, I'm right here with you.
Philando Castile, a supervisor at a school cafeteria where kids loved him, was taken to the hospital and died. Diamond Reynolds says she was held by police until 5 o'clock this morning. This is where the shooting happened. I'm told it's usually a quiet neighborhood. People have been gathering here since the incident, and just take a look at what they're posting. Film the police. Reynolds today explaining why she did just that.
I didn't do it for pity. I didn't do it for fame. I did it so that the world knows that these police are not here to protect and serve us. They are here to assassinate us. They are here to kill us because we are black.
Later, she got a face-to-face apology from Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton.
I can't tell you how sorry I am for the terrible tragedy that's been forced on you and on your family.
I don't want you guys to be sorry. I want y'all to be more careful.
We want justice.
And late today, this statement from the governor.
Would this have happened if those passengers, the driver and the passenger, were white? I don't think it would have. This kind of racism exists.
All right. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. I definitely remember that. I mean, I seen that. It hit me hard because the police officer asked the young man to reach and get his ID, which he did. And by doing that, he shot this young man. Not only did he shot the young man, he held. What got me so angry that he held the gun to the man like he was going to do something. The man is bleeding out. He's dying. And he still has his gun focused on this man. And he was yelling at the girlfriend like she did something wrong. And this is why I said this is one of the biggest fears I have, because as a black man, I have been stopped, but I always make sure I keep my hands on the steering wheel. And you have to use your, you have to use your common sense, because some of these people out here are trigger happy. They already fear us. And not only that, now they're about to do a law they're trying to pass to give police full immunity. That means they can shoot you and get away with it. It's, hunting season on us. And I'll never forget when I was picking up my son from school. And I was talking to my son, this is my youngest son, I was talking to him and say, about how police do. And I remember picking him up. And we was going back to the house. We was going straight down the street. The police then was stopping another light. He was just staring at us. And I was looking, I said, wow, he's just staring at us hard. Now I'm pretty sure he was more focused on my son, because my son at that time had dreads. I'm clean cut, but he was just focused. So my spider sense just went off. So as soon as the light turned green, they all went, and he went down the street too. And I told my son before we even took off, I said, son, get yourself prepared, because I got a feeling this officer is going to wait for us and get behind us and pull us over. So whatever you do, keep your hands in plain sight, because I don't want you to get shot, and I don't want to get shot. As soon as I went down the light or two down the street, guess what? He was sitting right there. And he pulled behind us, and I'm saying to myself, okay, so what he going to pull us over for? Pull us over. Come to my side and say, well, how y'all doing? And he already had his hand on the gun. And I'm looking at him, we doing fine. He said, I'll pull you over for a brake light. And my son looked at me, I looked at him, because we both know he was lying. Our brake light worked. He pulled us over so he can see if we was doing something illegal, or if we had some marijuana, anything just to get us on. So he asked for my ID. I said, well, this is my son. I picked him up from school, we was going home. So he was back there, and I just told my son, just keep your hands to yourself. You know, just don't too much stare at the man. He already got a mean look on his face. You can just smell the racism on him. So he went to go look me up, hoping and praying. I know he was hoping and praying I had a warrant so he can throw me out the car. He came back and he wrote me a ticket. Now I could have sat there and disputed the ticket because I'm like, well, dude, there's nothing wrong with the brake light. But I took the ticket and he said, well, y'all drive slow and stay out of trouble and have a nice day. I'm like, yeah, you too, sir. So I let my son see that. I said, you see that? And he looked at me, he shook his head. I said, now, we both know the brake light work. And this man just pulled us over because he saw you with your dreadlocks in your head. You know, they think everybody that got long braids or dreadlocks are drug dealers or selling weed or something anyway. And he pulled us over. So like I said, you got to teach your kids this. Keep their hands in plain sight because they'll use any excuse in the book just to shoot you. So, King David, how you remember that video? How you feel about that video we just saw?
Yeah, I do remember the video from a few years back. That was just sad, and that officer didn't even give a darn about that man. Kid been in the car, nothing. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, and then they was in the back of the car, and it breaks me down all the time with that video. Is when the baby says, "It's okay, mommy, I'm right here." That shit, man.
Yeah.
Boy, that's some shit right there.
Yeah.
Because you know the officers didn't even have sense enough to console this lady, and they grown. Her own 2-year-old had to.
Yeah. They treated her like they treated her like she was a criminal. They put the girl on the ground like she did something wrong. I mean, really?
You have a caller online?
Grown man talking.
Hello? Yeah,
Yes.
I want to make a comment. They talk about the post with the, profiling. I've seen that. I've learned even with the cameras on, there's an extremely high percentage of cases that they necessarily don't prosecute because they're finding out most people settled outside of court on those cases, even when they're caught red-handed on the cameras, and the officers know that, or the victim knows that.
Right.
Yeah, because it ain't coming out the police officer pocket; it's coming out the state.
Exactly.
Exactly.
They
definitely don't care. Carla, have you?
Yeah, but part of it too is the people. I don't think the people are willing to fight it all the way too.
Right.
They're rather settled than to deal with the retaliation outside of the court too that they'll have to face.
And Carla, you're right because it's a long progress sometimes. And you're right because because sometimes the fear of the retaliation from other officers. So you're correct by that. And sometimes people just try to sell as quickly as possible because of fear of getting payback from telling on one of their officers.
Getting harassed.
Yeah, getting harassed and because they got information, they got your ID, they know where you live at and everything. So
They know your address, they got all that.
Yes, sir, and you're right. And this is what they do. And like I say, it's a big problem. It's still going on today, and I think most black men had been stopped by the cops a few times and probably came across a few that was really bad. Didn't know they were gonna make it home that night or not. So it's a big fear because you just don't know if you're gonna make it back home to your family or not. You just don't. So, Carl, I want to ask you: Have you ever been stopped or harassed by a police officer?
Yeah. Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah, I feel you, my brother. And
that legally arrested, all types of stuff.
Wow, I'm with you on that. I was arrested a couple of times too, so I'm definitely with you on that. And it's sad because they just go by your skin color. And they just automatically just, pull you over for no reason. Because that's one of the things I be like, you ain't doing nothing wrong, but just because you black.
Well, no reason. We know the reason is profiling and a fear.
Of course.
It's an internal fear that they possess. But as far as justifiable reason, according to they process and what they supposed to be doing, no.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But I know the reason. I think part of it too, if we like what you guys are doing, you educate the folks on that. Hey, this is how they profile. This is what they look for, like you're doing, right? But then also let them know, man, what's the percentage? That's a very high percentage that's going to happen. I think that takes away the, because I think they attack the emotional, aspect of our folks, right?
Right.
But we educate them on these things to get them prepared for it, to be like, oh, we expect that to happen. Just know that's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't take the shock. It takes the shock out of it, so that when they do deal with it, they're not as, I would say, upset. Because I think a lot of it, what I see too, is when they get upset and irate,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't handle it right because they're having an emotional response to it, which leads to everything else of them justifying what they intend to do anyway, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's my thoughts on it. Like, how do we change the emotional response to what we
Right.
know is going to happen in society versus getting there and then still falling into the bigger play, right? To play on the emotions of the youth, mostly youth, right? Because they ain't as experienced yet.
Yeah.
Especially you think about it, somebody driving 18, 19, that's when they start coming the most, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And is educated.
Yeah, you're right.
Plus, the emotional construct is not, I think, where it needs to be at that time, and then they have nothing. You know what I mean? So it kind of turns the pages on them. I just think of something systemically that can be done to help protect, right?
Right.
I think that's the angle. I don't know all the answer, but I just think that's an angle that could probably help.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And you're right. We have to start educating us, ourselves and our young people, because we have to take small steps so we get to a better solution. How we can figure something out so we won't lose any more brothers or sisters out here on the street with these police officers. So I definitely agree with you. And I thank you for calling and sharing your opinion with us. But we're gonna find a way, brother. We're gonna definitely try to find a way to beat this.
Oh, for sure.
Yep. Because one of the things I don't like hearing is, what we say is sad.
Yeah.
But it's like, but we know that. But historically, a lot of things have been sad. You know what I mean? Historically, right? They've been attacking indigenous people since people was indigenous. So that's really sad. But at the same time, when you know that they're going to attack you, how do you defend yourself on their stratagems? We gotta outsmart them in a sense. De-weaponize them, right?
Yeah. You're right.
Because even you being yourself is a weapon.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right about that.
They say knowledge is power, and I do believe if more people were educated on even just basic, even traffic laws, getting pulled over and stuff like that, you can actually make a cop be like, okay, this person know what they talking about. I can't get them on no bull crap.
It actually turns it on them.
Yeah. So, and I can tell you one thing that you can do to help with that. There are a lot of channels on YouTube. There are videos all on YouTube that break down these laws and what you do in these certain situations.
Yeah.
And they can really help you. And then there's one channel on here where it's a guy, he was an ex-police officer and an ex-sheriff. And he pulls up like videos like the ones that we watch, and he breaks down each and everything that the police officer did right, the things that the police officer did wrong, and also what the individual could have done differently to get out of that situation. So the information is out there. The information is out there. It's just up to us to go and get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And since you said that, Brother Des, I'm gonna tell you another thing. I'm sure the caller and many other heard that. They went in there and erased the database on these police officers, right?
I did hear about that. They went in.
They went in, and now that they have records on these cops that does this. Now these people up there and up there in the White House erased the database, so now you don't have any type of information. You can't check and see if this one of these guys that go out here and shoot black people like it's hunting season, because they took all of that away. I'm like, are you serious? Are you effing serious?
What's it serious? Why wouldn't they? That's just admitting guilt right there.
Yeah, but now it just made.
I mean, what was your other reason to do it?
Yeah, because that's
You
like
got a reason.
yeah,
All
like
right.
you were saying, they was earlier today, Mr. Dwight, you were saying that they're trying to pass this law to give police immunity. But
Yeah.
and even though the digital file has been erased, I'm pretty sure there's a paper trail somewhere.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. So we just gotta be careful, and like you said, brother Dez, and the call that we have to educate ourselves, look whatever is on YouTube, and teach ourselves and our children how to protect themselves the best way they can. This is why I tell people, even though you know you're right, don't argue with them or argue in court. Just don't argue with them. With that being said, we'll be back in 2-2, so don't go nowhere.
After 36-year-old Sonia Massey was shot and killed by a sheriff's deputy inside her home on July 6th. Law enforcement was there because she called 911 to report a prowler. The local sheriff's office released this body camera footage yesterday, which shows two deputies searching outside Massey's property for the suspected prowler.
So what'd you hear? Somebody keeps outside my house.
And then, after finding no one, Deputy Sheriff Sean Grayson talks with a confused-seeming Massey on her front porch.
Please God, I'm trying to get help, y'all, but...
What do you need help with? At one point, Grayson asks Massey about her mental health.
You're not in trouble.
A few minutes later, Massey and the deputies are inside, getting information to file their report.
I just driver's license will do, and then I'll get out of your hair.
Deputy Grayson asks Massey to turn off a pot of water that's boiling on her stove.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Holding the pot, Massey then twice says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," which Deputy Grayson immediately treats as a threat.
Huh? Where you going? Away from your hot steaming water. Away from my hot steaming water? Yeah. Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. You better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you in your face. Okay, I'm sorry. Drop the pot! Drop the pot! Drop!
Massey is hit in the face and dropped to the ground. For at least 6 minutes, the other deputy applies pressure to her wound while they wait for medics to arrive. At one point, Deputy Grayson is heard implying that her injury is so grave that he's, quote, not going to waste his medical supplies on her. Massey was later pronounced dead at the hospital. In a Facebook post, Sangamon County Sheriff's Office confirmed Deputy Grayson had been fired from the department, writing, "It is clear that the deputy did not act as trained or in accordance with our standards."
You know what I want? I want justice for my baby.
Massey's father, James Wilburn, spoke after the footage was made public.
The sheriff is here is an embarrassment.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing the Massey family.
She was dealing with some issues. She needed a helping hand. She didn't need a bullet to the face.
President Joe Biden also weighed in, saying, quote, "Sonia's death at the hands of a responding officer reminds us that all too often, Black Americans face fears for their safety in ways many of the rest of us do not." And in her own statement, Vice President Kamala Harris decried this as a senseless death and reiterated calls for Congress to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, which she co-authored. The law would, among other things, limit the use of force, ban chokeholds, and change the standards for when officers could be prosecuted. Former Deputy Sean Grayson is charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct.
Okay. We want to give all gratitude over to the ones that supported and showing us love. Thank you for the ones that called in. Everyone over there at both pages of Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and also Instagram. Thank you for the support and love you have shown us, especially on this Black History Edition. Now we're going to turn it over to Dwight.
Yeah. I just want to say that video right there. I'm pretty sure we all three of us remember that. But what made me so angry is that same night, while that woman lost her life, those cops was outside laughing about it. They was joking about it. They was joking about the woman that cop just killed in the house, just shot her. And when they say they want to waste their medical equipment, of course not, because you already know that she was dying. But the thing that made me so angry is that they were outside laughing and joking about it, like it was a game. Like, how many did you get? How many did you kill? It was like a game to them.
Yeah.
And they didn't know that the cameras on their bodysuit was still running. And this is how I was going on, just like you said, brother. There's on YouTube and things, because sometimes you don't hear this stuff on the news because they're trying to keep it hush hush. But these officers was outside joking about this woman's death. So that just show you they don't give a damn about us. They already think we second class citizens anyway. So that's why we have to be so careful. So, brother Dez, how you feel about that video?
That video kind of brought up some some issues for me because
Yeah.
I've been shot by the police before, and to this day it still affects me. I still have PTSD behind it. If a police officer gets behind me, I start having a panic attack just out of nowhere. And some things that I did after watching some other videos, come to find out with that situation, that officer's, I think it was his wife or girlfriend or something, had an issue with her at work or something, and filed some type of complaint on her. And they had the noises that she was hearing was, I think they were saying that it was the police officers actually coming in harassing her.
Wow.
Behind that. But in situations like that, that's just clear cut. Come on, man. You got her by at least 100 pounds. You got her at least by 100 pounds. And all she has in her hand is a pot of boiling water.
Right.
She has a pot of boiling water in her hand, and you really feared for your life behind that?
Yeah.
Come on now. I mean, where does the training kick in? Like they said, he did not use his training or anything.
Exactly.
And I think some of these police officers, I think they need to take some type of empathy or sympathy type of training, or sensitivity training, so that they can be aware. Because if he noticed how she was moving, and it seemed as if she was having some type of mental issue or mental crisis, why not call a female officer to deal with her?
Right.
Something of that nature. And then for him to blatantly just do that like that, it's like he had no regard for her life.
He didn't.
Her life meant nothing.
Yeah.
And and him probably thinking he could hide behind the badge, not realizing that video, the camera.
Yeah.
I'm glad his partner had his body cam going. Because if we didn't even have that video from that body cam, would we even know that's how it actually went down?
Right. Yeah.
They could have, they could have planted a weapon on her and said she had a weapon, and trying to justify it or clear it up and clean it up.
Yeah.
And even with like the previous video, that how is that going to affect that gentleman's daughter?
Yeah.
How's that going to affect her? She's going to grow. She's going to have that in the back of her mind. I do not believe she will ever trust a police officer.
And you're right.
And I don't think that these officers think about, the trickle down effect, how this is going to affect down the line.
Yeah. Because that's what it is, that they want us to be fearful. That's why they do what they do in front of our kids. That's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's another form of Willie Lynchism. Take the biggest and strongest and basically just tear him into the ground in front of the mother and the daughter, and that's gonna pass down, down and down and down. So is the way, and that's why I say that it's not supposed to be that way, but that's why a lot of black men, I wouldn't say fear, they just have have a fear of being caught up in the wrong situation when it comes to dealing with law enforcement.
Yeah.
Definitely
right. You are definitely right. King D, how do you feel about that video, my brother?
Yeah, that was sad. And yeah, I want to say, yeah, him and that Deputy Grayson, I think that's his name.
Right.
And they knew each other. Like Des was saying, they all knew each other. That she was beefed up with his wife, and I think that he knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing, and she did have, I think, schizophrenic. Was she schizophrenic?
Yeah, she did have milk, but yeah, she did have milk. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, schizophrenic. But the crazy part about it is, another crazy point I want to point out is that Grayson, he was charged with DUI multiple times. He has
You know what?
multiple
You're
DUIs.
right. You sure right, brother.
So why is this man even? He I think it said he worked 4 areas, and he was
Right.
fired from most of
And
those
he was
areas.
fired.
He kept getting, he was fired because he kept getting caught under the influence.
Yeah.
Driving under the influence. So why is y'all steady hiring this man?
It's exactly.
And now he done got to another department and killed somebody. Now y'all want to do an outcry. Y'all should have outcried when he did the DUI and had that accident.
Yeah, because that's that brother. That's what they call it, the brotherhood. That badge they protect their own.
Yeah.
He's worked in like 4 or 5 departments. Like, and then he gets to this department and finally kills somebody. Are y'all serious?
Wow.
That should have him from the first DUI he had.
Yeah. And you know what, King D and Brother Dez, now the family just got I think a war maybe a week or 2 ago. They finally, I guess the family sued the department. They got some justice. I mean, it's not enough money in the world to take the little one's life, but I think I'm not sure how much they got, but oh, okay. So they got $10 million, but you know, to lose a loved one, that's not even enough money. I mean, forget that. I lost a family member. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, they have to pay for that, but it's just sad that they have to come to that. And King D, you're right. I remember this man having a criminal record himself, being drunk and going from the police department to
He
police.
had a whole criminal record, and he was on the second DUI.
Yeah.
Third. It was the second or third, but even the third one, you get 3 DUIs, you go to prison.
Yeah.
It's a felony. Well, all 3 are felony, but.
And that's the other thing too. Even though they said he was charged, what is he going to be sentenced with? Because because they're going to find. I feel they're going to find some type of loophole to give him some type of lesser sentencing. You know, but
I think he was charged. If I remember correctly, he was charged with manslaughter.
Right.
But I know that last I even heard about this story.
That's what they eventually.
He was trying to appeal. But I think
he was trying to appeal. Yeah.
I think it was denied. I think the judge was like, "No, this is it." And manslaughter, I think in their county or their state, I think that's a life sentence automatic.
Yeah,
that's a life sentence.
But I got a feeling he'll be getting out of it. You know, I just got that feeling. They normally, some of them normally get out of it for some reason, because you know we our life don't mean crap to them. So. And just like Brother Dez says, you know, they got their badge, brotherhood badge, and you know, even some judges. So he's in there now, but the question is for how long? You know, for how long he gonna be in there? You know, before he's out again working in the police department.
I don't think he's gonna get out because he cost them $10 million. Do you think the man gonna get out?
Yeah, I think he might. You know, who's
they might make it. They might make him stay in there and work that off.
Yeah, I doubt that though.
$10 million. That's not a no chump change.
Yeah, you know, but this. I mean, think about it compared to the things we go through when this young white boy went in I think a church and killed all those people. They just put him on his back and took his butt to Burger King. Have it your way. You know, he didn't get a scratch on him. Went in there, shot those people up in the church. And, you know, hey, that's all right. Let's take
Did y'all see that video that those police officers jumping that man at the police station and they killed him? This was happening. This has been a few months.
They jumped him in the police station?
Yeah, they jumped him in the police station. They were beating him up real bad. And what was his name? I think his name was Michael.
Right.
This was a few months back. And then they killed him.
What would he do? He went in there to get help or something, or he was just
no, they had took him in.
Wow.
And they had took him in. She said she done heard about it, Golden.
Right.
This was just a couple months ago. They killed that man.
Wow.
They had a whole video of them beating him up and pulling him and
Is that the one when he was strapped to the table?
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
they supposed to have all got but all 9 of them supposed to have got charged for that murder. Yeah, I don't know how long they're gonna do, but yeah, you're right, King. They got charged.
They was folding them all up like.
Well, yeah, because he had a mental issue as well. They was taking him to the nurse, and they was killing him, and the people in the medical that worked there, they was laughing, and I'm like, damn, we just a joke to y'all.
He wasn't fighting, but he wasn't doing nothing. He was just sitting, laying there, and they just beating on him.
And they was beating him. I saw the video. Yeah, they were just beating on him till that man died.
That is crazy.
You know,
I got stopped by the police. I had a Charmaine red Cadillac. I thought that was the best part ever. And so I pulled it in my apartment complex one night. I came in for work. I got off at 11. I worked out in Beulah, Texas at the time.
Right.
As soon as I put in my apartment complex, the police officer got behind me. I'm like, I don't know, my insurance is good. Like, my tags is good. Like, what y'all stopping me for? He came, he looked, and asked for my ID and proof of registration and everything. He give everything come back clear. He give me the stuff, and he gonna look at my car and ask me what I do for a living.
Wow.
So I'm a black man in a Cadillac. I'm sitting on some rims. You think I'm gonna?
Wow.
I said I work, and he said, "Where do you work?" And I showed him my work badge. I said, "I'm just getting off from work."
Yeah, and see, and that's one thing that I've learned.
We can't even have nice things.
Nope.
We can't.
Yeah, see, that's one thing also I've learned from watching these videos on YouTube. You do not have to identify yourself if you have not committed a crime.
Yeah.
You don't have to show your identification. And then if they try to say that they can try to get you for failure to ID, that's a secondary charge.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's so what's the term that they use? Reasonable, articulable suspicion that you have committed a crime or in the act of committing a crime. Suspicion itself is not a crime.
Yeah.
Being black itself is not a crime. So you do not have to identify yourself.
Shoot, to them is a crime. I don't know if y'all saw that video with that black man. It was in Houston, Texas. And he was just standing in his front yard. Him and his wife was standing in the front yard. The police pulled up and called him over and said, and he's like, "What's going on?" They said, "You look like somebody, like they had a warrant, like you look like the guy we're looking for." And he said, "What?"
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, you said.
And when he showed him the picture, the dude looked nothing like him.
Nothing like him.
You know,
like, boy, dead. Man. I mean, okay, look, y'all, we'll be back to talk a little bit more about this, so don't go nowhere. We'll be back in 2 and 2, y'all.
Michael Brown at the hands of a policeman. Investigators said at about noon Saturday, the officer, who hasn't been identified, encountered Brown and another man on the street in an apartment complex. There was a struggle, and one of the men pushed the officer into his car.
Within the police car, there was a struggle over the officer's weapon. There was at least one shot fired within the car.
The struggle spilled out onto the street, where Brown, whom investigators say was not armed, was fatally shot.
Police have shot this man for no reason.
Piaget Crenshaw, who took the cell phone video, says she saw those shots from her apartment balcony.
He's running this way. He turns his body towards this way, hands in the air, being compliant. He gets shot in his face and chest and goes down and dies.
Witnesses said Brown's body lay in the street for hours.
I'd like everybody here to appreciate that it took a very long time yesterday to process this scene.
The shooting sparked a furious reaction. Police responded in force, brandishing assault. Michael Brown graduated from high school earlier this spring and was to begin college next week. His mother, Leslie McSpadden, has a message for the officer who killed him.
You're not God. You don't decide when you gonna take somebody from her. If that was the case, I brought him her. I should have took him from her. That was mine. That belonged to me.
Around noon, Dorian Johnson said he and Brown were walking down this street when a Ferguson police officer confronted them and told them to use the sidewalk. The officer then stopped his car only inches away from the pair and tried to open his door, but the door bounced off the pair and closed on the officer. A struggle ensued, and that's when the officer, 28-year-old Darren Wilson, drew his weapon and fired the first round, hitting Brown. The two ran off, and Wilson continued after them. Johnson says he next hid behind the first car he saw and witnessed the officer get out of his vehicle, follow Brown, and fire at the fleeing teen. According to Johnson, an injured Brown next got on his knees and put his hands up to indicate he had no weapon. The officer continued shooting at Brown several times. Ferguson police offer a different account. Police say Wilson initially stopped the pair for jaywalking and was unaware Brown was a robbery suspect. It wasn't until Wilson saw the stolen items in Brown's hand that he backed up to question the men further. Police said Brown physically assaulted Wilson and during the struggle reached for the officer's gun. One shot was fired in the car, followed by several more, which led to Brown's death. An independent autopsy contracted by Brown's family revealed he was shot at least 6 times. Only 3 of the bullets were recovered from his body. He was shot 4 times in the right arm and twice in the head. One of the 2 bullets entered the top of his skull, suggesting his head was bent forward when he was shot. Another went into his right eye, through his face, exited from his jaw, and re-entered his collarbone, causing several wounds. The autopsy also found Wilson fired the fatal shots from 1 to 2 feet away.
Okay. Make sure that y'all set your notifications because next Saturday, the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour will be back in order to share a topic that we haven't discussed yet. When people are afraid to get that marriage license, why is that? And what are they afraid of now? Why do they say it's just a piece of paper? The disvalued commitment will be coming on to you with the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour next Saturday. Also, do not forget that we got the Powerful Poet contest going on. Time is clicking. Hey, March is finna creep up, and then we're gonna be having the judges make their decisions. Get your videos in. Do not make sure you do not miss the timeline. The expiration for turning in videos is April 15th at midnight. So make sure you get your videos over. If you're a poet and you know it, or you know a poet, hey, send them over. Now over to Dwight.
Yes, y'all be sure y'all get that in because it is getting close to that time. So if you're a poet, know somebody write poetry, please get that into Spicy or myself. The thing about this video we just saw, it just amazed me how I see videos of black men and women get shot, gunned down. They're not even a threat. But I have seen many videos of white people hitting the officers, dropping off in the car, running almost over the officers. There's not even a gun pulled out, no shots. They found a way to catch these people alive or unharmed. But when it comes to us, I mean, just pull your gun out and just start shooting like it's hunting season. And the reason why I'm saying this, like I said, not to bash, I'm not bashing all police officers, but I'm gonna be real. Most police officers are just racist, and you just don't know if you got that one dude that pulls you over or approach you. You know, but if you good at reading the body language and his face, his demeanor, then you can say, okay, I got one of these guys. I got one of these guys just waiting for me just to move the wrong way or do something so they can pull their gun out and just shoot me and say, oh, I thought he had something. Because I don't know if y'all remember. I remember a few years ago, there was on video. It was at a gas station, and the cop pulled this dude over, and they was talking, everything was going good, and he said, well, let me see your ID. He said, well, it's in my glove department. Can I get it? He asked for permission to get it. So soon as the officer said, yeah, go ahead and get it, the guy reached in there to get his ID, and he got shot in the leg. He lived, but he got shot. He said, why you shoot me? I told you my ID was in the glove department. I asked you permission to get it. Once I reach in there to get it, you shoot me.
Yeah, that's just like I seen this video the other day where the guy, he told, actually a while back, the guy told him, I am armed.
Mm-hmm.
I am armed. And as the police officer was removing the gun from him, ended up shooting him with his own gun.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Wow. Shot him with his own gun.
So they shot the man with his own gun?
Shot him with his own gun.
She was trying to pull it out of his pocket, but she put her hand over the trigger, I guess. And she tried to leave.
See, that's just crazy. See, this is what we fear, and believe it or not, I just like Dance, I got that too, that PTSD when the cop get behind me, because I'm like, is he gonna pull me over for some stupid reason? Because like you, King D, my stuff is legit, everything legit. So why are you pulling me over?
Mm-hmm.
When they pull me over, I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? Oh, I know I'm black, I'm driving, maybe. Because I don't see any reason. If I'm not speeding, I'm using the turn signal, I'm going the speed limit. What are you putting me over for? Besides to harass me or whatever the case may be. This is why we fear so much for not only ourselves, but as our children, shoot, my sisters, my brothers, friends, so forth, because we just don't know. We might be on the day when we actually get one of these psycho cops get behind us and just want to do us in for no reason.
Yeah, and then and I'm gonna be honest with you, it ain't always white cops too.
I was gonna say, you're right.
So,
It ain't always white.
it'd be some brothers. I can't remember if it was down. It was somewhere down south, like in Memphis or somewhere. They was their own little goon squad.
Yeah,
Five brothers.
You know what? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
you know,
they beat that dude up.
Yeah,
beat him up. You know, but they were quick to charge those brothers quicker than they were these white officers.
See, that's what I was gonna say, because they had no problem getting them charged real quick.
Yeah, and then there was like even the situation where the white kid went and shot up the church.
Yeah,
how is he's getting walked into the police station?
Wow.
After just going into a church and just shooting people,
shooting up folks like he's a hero or something.
And I think that of course I feel I'm maybe it's just my own personal opinion, but facts don't lie. The system is biased. The system is not designed to help us. The system is designed to bring us down.
Exactly.
It's designed to keep us in that cycle. And that's why even like the recidivism rate is so high.
Mm-hmm.
Because and then this is coming from, because I worked with ex-felons. My brother runs an organization called Beyond Conviction, where he helps ex-felons, because he's an ex-felon himself. He helps them retransition back into society so that they don't end up back in the penitentiary.
Right.
Because a lot of time, and this is coming from people who have been incarcerated, have said there's no such thing as rehabilitation. You don't go to prison and get better. You go to prison and end up getting worse.
Yeah, and they're right. Oh yeah, they're right.
Because you have to have a different type of mentality in order to survive in there. So you really don't go in and get rehabilitated. You actually become a better criminal.
Basically, yeah, you're right. That's what it is too. You just become a more angrier and a better criminal for what you do. And you're right. I agree with you 100% on that, because my mom, she never had actually, she had like a sibling that my grandparents, they adopted him, and I called my Uncle Ricky. He went to jail. Now, yeah, he did a robbery, but it was something that they gave him life for. They like he killed somebody. Nobody got hurt, but they decided to keep him in there until he died, and that's what he did. That's what they did. They kept this man in here until he died, and I think I talked to him maybe 3 times over the phone, and he was just giving me a short story how it was so bad. And he said, you know what? I was wrong from robbing the people, but for giving me life sentence like I hurted somebody or killed somebody, it was just ridiculous. And I agree. Nobody got hurt. He did rob somebody. He didn't have a gun. He robbed some people. I think he had like a BB gun. They had those BB guns back then. And these people gave him life. And it was just ridiculous. I guarantee you, if he was some other color, they probably gave him a slap on the wrist and he would have been on probation. He'd have been out of there.
Yeah. Well, see, they get paid. Make, I think it's anywhere between 20 to 40,000 a year per inmate.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah.
So they don't want us not to be in prison. They trying to get these prisons filled up. That's That's why they building more prisons than they are schools or libraries.
Exactly, and you're right. They got a lot of beds to fill. They got a lot of stuff they need us to do. So you're right. They definitely trying to get us in, and that's why I always try to encourage other people, especially young people, young men, say, look, don't give them no reason to put you in jail. Don't give these people no reason. And then too, you definitely got to be careful, because I don't know if y'all seen in the videos. I have seen videos where police officers had pulled people over, especially the black folks, and try to plant guns and drugs in these people's car.
Oh yeah, I've seen one where literally the judge looked at the police officer and was like, "How can you not say that you did not plant that gun there when when your body cam shows you putting the gun there?"
I remember that.
And then there's been so many cases where police officers have been caught planting drugs on people.
Exactly.
And I was just seeing the other day where down here in somewhere in another I want to say Alabama somewhere, where they literally dismantled the entire police department because they were so corrupt.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
And then even in Jackson, Mississippi, I think there was this one spot to where they uncovered all of these unmarked graves. It's like mass grave sites of people who, quote unquote, came up missing, but had been dealing with the police, and the police was just dumping their bodies in this place.
Wow.
Yes.
I cannot be mad at a black man for not wanting to deal with the police because of what we have to go through when we do deal with the police. Because I've seen situations where people have called the police for assistance, and ended up becoming the victim.
Exactly. Oh, I seen some stories on that. They call the police for help, and before you know it, they either going to jail or they become the next body bag on the list for calling the police for help to protect and serve.
They found that man's body in one of those graves you're talking about. It was a guy that came up missing. He ended up being stopped by the police, and he had been missing for months. I think his family had did a missing person report because they didn't know he had ended up getting stopped by the police.
Right.
And somehow the family did a missing persons report, and then a few months later, I guess they was on the quota at the police station. They do the quotas like every quarter. They do quotas, and the sergeant seen where after the police report was made, one of the officers it was a report with this guy's name on it, like he got stopped by the police. So the deputy was like, "How did he get stopped by the police if he's missing?"
Wow.
And so did their own internal investigation, and about a year passed. Long story short, they found that man's body in one of the mass graves. It was the officer that killed him and got his body and took it to not a mass grave. It wasn't so much safe, but it was a army base. Where the army bury their people at.
Yeah.
He took that man body all the way out there and buried the body himself.
Wow.
And it was like a couple of years had passed. It was a public story. I'm surprised I didn't hear that.
That is crazy. Let me ask you, King D and Des, y'all remember that? Now, it was a case not so long ago by some police officers that kidnapped these brothers and tortured them, like put the gun in their mouth and
violated them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of a racist neighbor.
Yes.
And I think that was also down south too. One of them quote unquote what they call them goon squads.
Yeah.
So there's one thing you can do is when you can get pulled over by these police officers, look for what tattoos they got.
Yeah.
Because them tattoos tell you, what part of the group that they in. So
they just did them so dirty. The goon squad did them so damn dirty. I was catching part of the case, and they were just. I said, I'm like, can you imagine? They take you to a place, a building, and beat you, and this and that, and just put the gun in your mouth and all this other stuff. And this is the police. These are the police officers. They're supposed to protect and serve. This is what they do. I mean, I guess it's okay when you ain't that other color, but when you this color or darker. Yeah, you just gotta have your spider sense on. I don't know what's that movie. I'm in my house party, It was Kid and Play when the cops kept getting behind their group called Full Force, and they kept pulling them over. That's how I felt back in the days. Even my other cops, if they were just pulling us over, I was like, damn, what we do now?
Yeah, and then and then they made a joke about it and Don't Be a Menace While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood when Bernie Mac played the police officer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I mean, they was making a joke, but literally that's how some of these, even some of our black officers feel, you know.
Yeah.
You know, when he said, I hate my gun because it's black.
Oh my God.
You know.
Yeah. And you're right. You definitely had some police officers that's look just like us, and they can be worse than the white officers.
Yeah, and then I mean that's why, you know, like how Cube say in this song, black police showing out for the white cop.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. That's what it is. Hey, I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all behind the blue. Whatever y'all do, I'm okay with it. Yeah, they roguish, thuggish. We gonna clean this up. Yeah, that's what they do. They coming from our own people, raccoons, sellouts.
Yeah,
but it's just, I mean, it's just sad. And like I said, this is some things that we all can relate to. And we fear because, like I said, you know, myself, Des, and King D, we got kids, and I think that's my biggest fear is you know, hearing something happen. If something happens to one of my kids, you know, we just wouldn't know what to do, especially if it had something to do with the police officers.
Yeah.
So, well, okay, we're gonna take this last break, y'all. So don't y'all go nowhere. We'll be back in 2 and 2, maybe 1, but we'll be back. I just want to say that Spicy did a great, beautiful job of that video showing all the people that was victim of the police officer, all those beautiful kings and queens that die at the hand of the police before their time. And Spicy just did a great job showing that, and that was a great video. Much love to all those people's families because they died before their time. So before we step out, I just want to ask all the guys on the panel just to give any advice they can give to people out there to be safe and be aware of the police officer. And Dez, let's start with you. You got any advice for the people?
Well, I would just say, be aware, be conscious of your surroundings. Don't try to force your way out of a situation. Just like we were saying earlier, sometimes you got to use your intelligence. And even though sometimes common sense ain't so common, using common sense when dealing with law enforcement, regardless if you're right or you're wrong. If you use some type of common sense, you should be okay. But at the same time, I would say get educated on the laws so that you know how these police officers are treating you, if they're dealing with you properly or improperly, like the caller said, getting illegally arrested, things of that nature. I would say just you can get on YouTube, go to a library and look up whatever state or whatever city you're in, and look up what the traffic laws are, so you know how to deal with the police officer when you get pulled over and things of that nature. And then also, don't make no sudden movements with them. Don't make no sudden movements with them. Keep your calm. It's easy for me to say, even though I suffer from the PTSD and I automatically start having these anxiety attacks. But if you're nervous, you're going to make that officer nervous.
Yeah.
And something else I was about to say. Just get hip to the laws. Get on this YouTube channel, figure out some of these laws. And just try to be cautious, and just because at the end of the day, most of these police officers, they want to do the same thing that you want to do, which is make it home safely. And you also have to realize a lot of these police officers, they was bullied coming up through school, in grade school, in high school, and now they trying to feel that sense of empowerment because they got that badge on them. And you'll know that police officer that was bullied in high school, how they approach you. So, just and like Mr. Dwight said, learn how to read these police officers when they walk up to you. And just because they being friendly to you don't mean they got your best intentions at heart. That's all I can say.
Brother Dez, I agree with you 100% on that, my brother. King D, you have anything you got to say before we cut out?
Dez pretty much said everything. But stay alert to stay alive. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Movie out. That's the close.
And I agree with Brother Dez. He has said it the best, and ladies and gentlemen, just be safe. Even though you are in the right, and just like Dez said, some of you guys have been bullied, and this is their way to get back, and you just gotta be safe out there. So when you get pulled over, make sure your hands stay in view so they can see it. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Teach your children the safety. Just like Dez said, you can Google or go to YouTube, learn the law and everything, and just stay safe so you can make it home and everything. And then if they give you a ticket or they act funny, don't argue with them about it. Take them to the court where you got witnesses and maybe you'll win. So with that being said, for King D, Dez, and myself, we want to wish you much love on this last day of Black History Month. God bless. We will definitely be back here next week, and also Spicy, and then we'll be here to talk about the paper. I got a lot to say about that, being married with the paper. So definitely we'll be talking about that. We just want to wish y'all a happy weekend. Stay safe out there, y'all. Ain't nothing but love from us. Till next time.